in Macon in 2022. Investigators say many of them were targeted killings. We often hear about gang wars in Macon and how some of the city's homicides are connected and retaliatory.
But how? Tonight, 13 Investigates. Ashlyn Webb explains one case where the Bibb County Sheriff's Office has linked 3 of Macon's homicides.
2 years ago this month, Ahmaud Norwood was found dead. Then 1 year and...
Hey, this your boy Butler. It's the best day of my life. Hey man, we touching on Georgia prisons and blood for blood. Look like it's a gang war going on. Inside the joint, outside the joint. So we're gonna see what these folk got to say, and then we'll go from there.
A week later, one of his alleged killers,
When I say the joint, I mean the prison system. The dude just came and knocked on my door. You gotta be hot out there. I don't know what you selling. Hey man, the Georgia Department of Corrections is off the chain. So you got Ahmaud Norwood found unalive on the 21st. Then Damian Felton. I don't fuck on edit.
Damian Felton, killed hours after he got out of jail. And 2 days after that, someone gunned down Norwood's half-brother, Orlando Cortez Clark. Investigators now say these 3 murders may have been retaliation, an attempt to even the score, all connected by gangs and family ties. To explain this story, we have to go back to May 7th, 2021.
I come the other way and I seen the arm sticking out my butt in the neck.
Willie Marshall was walking along Churchill Street at the edge of Macon's Unionville neighborhood when he found the body of 26-year-old Ahmaud Norwood. He was underneath a mattress in an illegal dump site.
People that have so little regard for human life or a human being to kill them and then just put them in the side of the road in a rubbish dump like this.
His body partially burned, along with an ankle monitor still attached to him. He had bailed out of jail just 3 months before. But while investigators collected evidence and news reporters, including myself, were with the sheriff at the scene, gunfire.
You and I were there getting ready to do an interview, and he pulls up. I think it was in a white Dodge Charger.
According to a report written by a deputy closer to the shooter, the man yelled the words, "It's hell or jail," repeatedly.
Did investigators ever find out who that was at the shooting?
No, we've had some tips.
You know what? I heard of an Atlanta gang called Hell or Jail, or Jail or Hell or something. Is that a part? Is that a blood sector? And then, if that is the case, and y'all see the police out there, why would you yell at the police? Maybe y'all didn't know they was the police. Or maybe that's the gang that y'all on. Is that the gang war? Is it? Somebody get in my comment section, man, and put me up on game, bro, because this shit more dangerous than I thought it was.
Tips on who it was, but we haven't been able to drive it down specifically as to who that individual was, and we don't particularly know whose team he was on.
But investigators do know who was on the other team, the ones involved in Norwood's murder. Deputies arrested 28-year-old Jerome Beasley, 45-year-old Margareton Dudley, and 26-year-old Damian Felton. Court records say Felton was playing dice with Norwood at a shot house when a fight broke out and Beasley allegedly shot.
Hold on, bro. You just said Felton got killed, bro. You just said Felton got killed. I'm confused. Okay. Let me try not to get ahead of myself.
Particularly know whose team he was on.
But investigators do know who was on the other team, the ones involved in Norwood's murder. Deputies arrested 28-year-old Jerome Beasley, 45-year-old Margareton Dudley, and 26-year-old Damian Felton. Court records say Felton was playing dice with Norwood at a shot house when a fight broke out and Beasley allegedly shot Norwood. The 3 then allegedly tried to burn his body and place it under the mattress.
Wow.
Damian Felton spent a year in the Bibb County Jail until Friday, May 13th, 2022. Noon tonight, a Macon man was shot to death outside his home this morning, hours after being released from jail. According to court records, a judge granted bond and he bailed out of jail at 10:41 p.m. after posting over $82,000. Less than 12 hours later, on May 14th, Felton was standing in the front yard of his home on Harold Street when someone shot and killed him.
Who do you think killed Felton?
We may have some ideas. We hear things in the street, but not enough right now to really make an arrest. But whoever shot him knew where he was, and that was sort of a targeted attack.
Court records say Felton belonged to Macon's Gangster Disciples gang, and Norwood, the man he was accused of killing, a member of a rival gang, Macon's Mafia.
We had heard word on the street that there was going to be some retaliation, and that's sort of what took place.
Just 2 days later, on May 16th, while Bibb investigators were still processing evidence in Felton's killing, 4 or 5 men were seen chasing Norwood's half-brother, Orlando Cortez Clark, down Ibex Street. The Bibb County report says witnesses saw the men firing shots from both sides of the street at him. Clark died there. The shooters got away and still haven't been caught. Investigators say they don't believe Clark was part of a gang, just a relative of Ahmaud Norwood's. But Sheriff Davis says investigators believe his death could have been gangs trying to even the score after Felton's death.
I think you could speculate that there may be some connection, within 2 days after Mr. Felton loses his life, someone connected to Norwood loses their life. The climate of these individuals, the people they run with, the type of activities they're involved in, leads us to believe that, it's sort of a get back, you get this one, I get that one.
And in Felton's case, investigators question whether his death was street justice for Norwood's murder.
It's sad it causes us to have one more homicide to investigate, but these individuals, they affiliate themselves in these groups, and they affiliate themselves into these circumstances to where that they're dying to belong to some group, and sometimes they get their wish.
Felton and Clark's murders are still unsolved, but the sheriff says they remain open investigations. The 2 surviving suspects in Norwood's case are indicted and awaiting trial, but both, according to court and jail records, are out on bond. For 13 Investigates, I'm Ashlyn Webb.
I'm just trying to get a little bit.
If you have any information about Felton or Clark's deaths, the sheriff's office asks you to call Macon Regional Crime Stoppers at 1-877-68-CRIME.
And you can head over to 13WMAZ.com for the full web story. You'll also find a timeline of Macon Bibb's gang killings.
There's 3, that was 2. 3, connection deadly shooting Macon apartment complex. 3rd charge. So that's crazy. So he got charged.
New at noon, a 3rd person faces murder charges in connection to a man's body found under a mattress at an illegal West Macon dump site. Earlier this month, someone out walking found 26-year-old Ahmaud Norwood shot to death there. Investigators believe someone killed Norwood about a mile away on Lily Avenue and then dumped his body on Churchill Street. 2 men are already facing charges with killing Norwood. On Tuesday, deputies arrested 28-year-old Jerome Beasley after investigators were tipped off about where he was. 45-year-old Margetton Dudley was the first suspect to be arrested last Friday. Deputies originally arrested the newest suspect, Damian Felton, on Monday for drug and gun charges.
Jerome Beasley.
New information tonight. Bibb investigators say they arrested a second man and charged him with murder after finding a man's body under a mattress earlier this month. We report on the death of Ahmaud Norwood on May 7th. He's the man whose body was found under a mattress at an illegal dump site in West Macon. The sheriff's office says they issued warrants for 28-year-old Jerome Beasley, and he turned himself in. This is the second arrest in this case. Both Beasley and 45-year-old Margetton are key.
That's for friend, man. Is this the, hold on, 4th Avenue? Is that the,
It's new tonight. The Bibb County Sheriff's Office arrested a man in connection to a shooting death Saturday morning. 43-year-old Lemuel Wilson was shot after someone fired shots inside a home on the 1400 block of 4th Avenue just after 7 a.m.
I think that's another one. Whoa. 102 homicides in 99 weeks.
Over the weekend, Macon saw 2 more homicides. That makes a total of 4 within the past 7 days. That's according to 13 WMAZ and the Bibb County Sheriff's Office calculations. Molly Jett joins us live downtown after talking to law enforcement and a mom who lost her own son to gun violence.
So far, we've had a total of 51 homicides in Bibb County in the past year, matching the record set in last year of 2020. That means we've had a total of...
It's crazy, bro, because I go through one of Robbins and Macon all the time. I got some homeboys from it. They be telling me, bro, that thing janted out, boy. Do not go down there trimming around. They serious about they I wonder why.
I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch that. Could you please say that again?
I wasn't talking to you. Why are you talking back to me?
Okay,
No,
I
stop.
found this on the
Stop.
web
No,
for you.
Siri,
Don't
stop.
want to talking to you. Are you talking about
Siri,
me?
stop.
Check it out.
Hey, Siri, stop talking. I don't know if y'all heard it, but Siri just started talking to me.
of 102 homicides in 99 weeks since the start of 2020. Faye Alexander of Macon wasn't ever the same after the summer of 1994.
June of 1994, my son was shot to death.
Cusel Walker was just shy of turning 21 when he was shot in the stomach on Eisenhower Parkway.
It made me angry to the extent I wanted to kill. I wanted to take somebody's life. You took my sons and I wanted to do it. But it took this one young man to really talk to me and say, don't do that. You got a daughter to live for.
Every year since her son's death, Faye has taken her anger and turned it into activism. She spends her time with Peacekeepers Healing of Affliction, an organization fighting to end community violence, and a support group for mothers who have lost children to violence.
If I can save another child's life, just one, it ain't got to be 15 or 20, just one, I think I did my job.
The latest Macon homicide took place on Green Tree Parkway in Lake.
Macon just like Atlanta. And I wish that would. It's the same rhetoric, bro. Macon man, mother arrested next to shooting death. Found shot to death in room. Deion Banks. Man charged triple homicide at East Macon home. Damn.
In other news, we are continuing coverage on a story we've been following over the weekend. This morning, a man is in jail after a triple homicide at East Macon.
The suspect, Ronald Green Jr., faces 3 murder charges. The Bibb County Sheriff's Office says it happened on McCall Road off of Jeffersonville Road. Brianna Richardson takes a look at what happened and what we know so far.
Around 8 p.m. Saturday, the Bibb County Sheriff's Office says they got a call about people hurt at 925 McCall Road. They found a woman and man dead inside. Another woman was found seriously injured and taken to a Macon hospital. Investigators say Green broke into the house by breaking a window, then beat the 3 with a sharp object.
This was a house that's sort of like a boarding house. There were several different people that lived there, and Mr. Green had once lived at this residence, and there's some type of a disagreement.
The homeowner, 73-year-old Chester Novak, was missing at first, but early Sunday, investigators found his body in the woods behind a neighbor's home, covered with brush. Coroner
There were 2 dead and 2 injured. Are they related? Making father wants answers to his murder bills out of jail. Is that it?
New tonight, a man accused of shooting and killing a man and hurting another is out on bond. But as Ashlyn Webb reports, the family of the man he's accused of killing didn't even know he was back on the streets. Ashlyn joins us in studio.
Yes, Lori, Khalil Raines bailed out of jail March 4th, according to jail records. But Sean Watts Sr., Watts' father, says he didn't know until this week, 3 weeks later.
Different murder. Bro, what y'all doing down in Macon, man? So sorry about that. Let's see, Macon father wants. Oh, let's do interrogation then. Let's see what happens. Under mattress in West Macon. We did that. Describes. Nope. 20-year-old charged with the murder after man shot and killed. 4th Avenue. Well, it is what it is, y'all. Brandon, East, murder, suicide. Macon pastor preached at several Georgia churches while on sex offender registry. Under mattress of Macon dump. That's man accused of 60 year old Miss Winters. Damn, Macon.
The Bibb County Sheriff's Office investigating after a man was shot to death and found in an illegal dump site this morning. Sheriff David Davis says the call came right before 9:30 on Churchill Street.
While deputies were investigating that scene, a man pulled up and fired a shot into the air. Ashlyn Webb was there and has the details on what happened.
Yes, I'd actually just wrapped up interviewing Sheriff David Davis about right here when what looks to be a white Dodge Charger pulled up and a man who was shirtless got out of the car, held up a gun and fired one shot into the air. Now, deputies say that he shouted something relating to a gang and the homicide investigation that was happening down here. Now, when that happened, Sheriff David Davis and other deputies around moved forward with their guns. Then me and a reporter took cover on the ground behind a patrol car. Here's video from when we found a safe place.
And that just shows you what type of individuals we have. There's law enforcement all around, there's people all around, and they'll just pull up and start shooting for no reason. This is ridiculous.
Davis says the man left in a white Dodge Charger with a black racing stripe. But while deputies are on the lookout for that shooter, they're also working the investigation where a body was dumped and covered in an illegal dump site. Willie Marshall says he discovered the body Friday morning during his daily walk around the neighborhood.
I come out the way and I seen the arm sticking out in the mattress.
He says he went to the closest neighbor's house and called 911. Coroner Leon Jones identified the body as 26-year-old Ahmad Rashad Norwood of Macon.
Ahmad Norwood. Maybe they ain't went to court on that case yet. Macon, Georgia is scary and gang affected city. How would this come up?
Macon, Georgia is one of the most gang-infested cities in the U.S. South. Many of the largest gangs are going to claim territory here. Definitely a scary city to drive around at night. The full video can be seen at...
Judges hit bond for at least 9 Bibb County murder suspects because they haven't been indicted. Is that how old boy got out?
Thanks so much for joining us. Our top story tonight at 6 o'clock. Judges have set bond for 9 Bibb County murder suspects over the past month because they were not indicted within the state-ordered deadline. They include the man accused of killing a jail guard, a triple murder suspect, and an accused mass shooter. And at least one of the 9 suspects is now free on bond. Under state law, if a suspect has been in jail for 90 days and the district attorney's office has not presented their case in front of a grand jury and a grand jury not indicted them, a judge must set bond. Ashlyn Webb has been digging into the story. She joins us live in studio with what she's found.
Yes, the district attorney's office confirmed that at least 9 murder suspects have had their bond set because they have not been indicted. In fact, her office has not even taken those cases to a grand jury for indictment. Howard says that's because most of those cases are missing crucial, critical information. The district attorney says her office is waiting on ballistic reports, autopsy reports, and other evidence from the GBI crime lab. In the news conference today, Howard says her office has contacted the Bibb County Sheriff's Office and the GBI about the delayed evidence. Howard went through the list Friday and said all cases listed except Albert Booz's and Passion Watkins cases are not ready to go before a grand jury for indictment. Meanwhile, Sheriff David Davis says he stands behind his investigators and says he believes there's enough evidence to indict the 9.
Justice cannot be dictated by a 90-day rule. I mean, we're talking about ballistics not coming back for 6, 9, sometimes months or a year. And that first means the ballistics has to be sent off to GBI. And we've had that here in Bibb County.
But there's always bits of information, things that the prosecutor needs. The prosecutor's the one that takes it to the grand jury, and they want to have all the information that they need. But there's sometimes you're not going to have everything. Sometimes.
You know what I'm wondering about? I'm wondering, like, so is the gang beef and the gang, let me see, the gang animosity on the streets, is it carrying on to the prison? That was 9 months ago. Inmate dies at Macon State Prison in Powell, Georgia prisons. Gang sent to prison making burglary shooting. Former Macon gang member talks how gangs operate and how he got out. Let's touch on it. That shit say blood for blood.
Families of 15 Macon teens buried their child last year after losing them to gun violence. Those losses will have ripple effects beyond their homes and their schools. So what role do Macon street gangs play in this increase of teen deaths? Tonight, we continue our series, Caught in the Crosshairs, the risks and remedies of teen violence. 13 Investigates' Ashlyn Webb talks with a former superior in a Macon gang about how the gangs operate and how they drive violence in the city.
My name is Lataurus Oliver. I have come a long way in life. I used to be in the gang.
This is where Lataurus Oliver's story started. Anthony Holmes on Eisenhower Parkway.
I was born and raised here in the project. Yeah, about 10 gangster disciples alone on this street. 5 down this side of the road and 5 over.
How young were you when you first started talking to gang members?
About around the age of 14, 15. I seen all the popularity that these guys was getting and all the girls and the money and cars that they was getting by just being in the gang.
He says by age 17, he had dropped out of school. He began recruiting other gang members as young as 11 years old and also started dealing drugs.
See, I was in a gang called Gangster Disciples. So our colors was black and white. So every day you get up, put on your colors, you go meet your superior, and then you meet up and see what the activity for that day is, whether we go do a drive-by, what head drug dealer we go see today to get the best deal to sell drugs.
It was a business.
It was a business.
Oliver says gangs then and now claim territory street by street. It's a war over money, drugs, women, and power.
We never knew when our enemy was going to cross over in territory. So we had to have guns, we had to have knives, we had to have all kind of weapons and be ready to kill.
And that trend is only getting worse, especially with teens in gangs. In 2022, Macon lost 15 teens to gun violence, more than double from the year before. Bibb County Sheriff's Office says a third of them were affiliated with a gang.
Lieutenant Jason Batchelor is part of Bibb County's gang task force. As young gang members die, he says younger children are joining.
That younger element has a greater propensity to use violence to gain stature within that criminal street gang. It's startling, when you hear these 12, 13, 14 years olds that are involved in these drive-by shootings.
As I got friends that in the grave, I got friends that's in prison for the rest of their lives. I'm one of the blessed. I'm blessed.
Lataurus Oliver says he spent over 17 years in the gang. He says he was in and out of jail at least 20 times, but his final arrest was his...
What's the solution, though? What is the solution, y'all? Founder of Macon MOE, gang, please get, what's MOE? Money over everything? 4 prison guards that make sense. I'm gonna touch on Macon prisons once we get done with this. What's MOE? I would assume it's money over everything. Hearing for Sydney Raymond Sapp.
Sydney had left the lifestyle that he's being tried for now. He had left that sometime in the past. I never knew him that way. The Sydney that I know he's my brother, and I've walked with him since I've known him. Sydney, a matter of fact, introduced us. I know these are gang-related charges that he has, but he had introduced us to people that he was no longer running with. That he so
apologize for when I was lost. So I also just want to let you know that I'm not saying this because people try to jump on me about talking against gangs, about getting out of gangs and drugs and violence. I'm asking you to just believe in me. I'm telling you this now, but I'm ready to show.
This organization has done.
Yes, sir.
A whole lot of lives got wasted. Some got taken.
Sydney reset. He sentenced to 10 years in prison and 5 years probation for violating the state's street gang terrorism.
I'm not going to tell you that, but for you, these people would be alive and these people would not be in jail. I don't know that, but what I do know is that what you did made it easier for those things to happen. People to die.
Hey man, drugs, gangs, prison. What's the solution?